Do you have a question that you really want the answer for? So this is a yes or no reading for any question you want. So take a moment now and focus on your question. Remember, it must be a yes or no outcome. So does this person like me? Does this person want to date me? Am I going to get a new job? Am I heading in the right direction? That kind of thing. So focus on it now, and whatever question you find yourself drawn to the most, this is your answer. So I'm going to do each of the star signs. So this is your sun, moon and rising. So pick whichever one you feel like you are drawn to the most, but we're going to get started. But you can choose multiple if you've got multiple questions. So we are going to get started with Aries. So Aries, first of all, what do you need to know about your question? What do you need to know about your question? You feel a little bit drained right now, like lack of value, like things just aren't really heading forward for you, aren't really kind of, very stuck, like things aren't heading forward for you, like you don't really feel like you're bringing much to the table, like it's not really progressing, just feeling like drainingness, like I can't really be bothered to put any more energy into this because everything I've tried just has not been playing out, just has not been paying out to me, and just has not been heading in the right direction. So this is almost like you're hiding away a little bit from the world. With the strength card here, it has been knocking your confidence, but you are trying to enjoy yourself still, you're trying to stay positive. But you just feel a little bit disconnected from this. Like, I feel like I need to disconnect from it. I feel like I need to walk away. Like, this really isn't headed forward in the direction I expected it to. I almost want to say, like, there's a mentality of this just feels mid. Like, you're just like, oh, this just feels mid. Is this a yes or a no, though? So I do feel like this is a yes. There is a little bit of an element here of what is blocking it, as there hasn't been a long-termness to it. So you either haven't given it enough time or enough energy over time to kind of see it progress. Sometimes when we're trying to do things like, for example, say you're trying to lose weight, you started a diet and then like you stayed on it for a month, things were going well and then you stopped. And then 6 months later, you're like, oh, everything went badly with it. But if you did continued on from that, like, first month, so you spent the last 7 months doing that healthy eating or doing whatever regime you wanted to do, you would actually see progression. The problem is here, it's almost like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So you're giving a bit of energy to it, then saying no repercussions or nothing from it, stopping, and then starting up again, and stopping and starting up again. There needs to be this work over time to really see this come through. But I do feel like it is a yes, but there is an element here of sticking the course, staying the course. So we're going to move on now to the next one, which is Taurus. So Taurus, this is your yes or no answer. So Taurus, what do you need to know about your yes or no question right now? You are waiting here for communication. You're not very happy about it, but you're starting to get yourself happy. But you are waiting. You're like waiting here for other people to make approvals or other people to make a decision. I feel like you are being forced to wait for them though. I don't feel like this is you just choosing to. It's like the only thing you can do right now. You're having to speak up for yourself, but you can't take action. That's the problem. You're trying to speak up for what you want, but you can't take action yet. And you're having to kind of pause here. Is this a yes or a no? Is the answer to your question a yes or a no? So I do feel like this is a no. There's almost like some information being cut off or you having to cut people out. But what is kind of blocking this and making this into a no is it wouldn't be worth your while in the long run. So this would almost be like, if it was a yes, it would be bad for you in the long run. It wouldn't give you the satisfaction, or wouldn't give you the positivity. It would be a bit problematic. With the 10 of Pentacles here, there is an element here of you don't feel like your life is going to the worthwhileness that it should be right now. Like, it's almost a little bit like you're having to kind of accept this as a no and then move on to something better. Sometimes we do have a little bit of bumps in the road, and those kind of lead us down a pathway which we might not expect to go to, or we didn't really want to do at the first, and then we come into like this better kind of movement forward, this better momentum later on. So there is a little bit of an element here of having to pull back, having to come back, and not exactly being in the right direction as we would necessarily want. But I do feel like actually this is going to help out in the long term and actually really help out positively later on. So we're going to move on to the next part now, which is for Geminis. Geminis, what is the answer to your question, your yes or no question? So we're going to do an overview first of what you need to know about this. I almost feel like there's an element here of like everything's just kind of fell down or fell over. Like you were trying to take a lot of action, you were trying to kind of keep everything stable, you had a lot of things to juggle. And because of that, like sometimes it gets to a point where there's so much to juggle or so many stuff going on around us, we physically cannot cope. And we end up like dropping out of things, we end up kind of leaving things behind. And I do feel like things haven't been progressing in the way they should be because you're expected to take on a bit too much. You're having to take on a little bit too much energy. You're having to take on a little bit too much. And it lent you to this stage of being drained and really not be able to continue on in the direction that was good for you. You are coming out of that troubled waters now, so there is this element here of you not having as much pressure on you. It is leaving you a little bit more on your own though, so although I feel like there is less pressure, you might be feeling a little bit left out in the loop or a little bit left alone because other people are pulling back from your life. And this is the universe's way to kind of give you more me time, more alone time to take care of yourself and focus on your needs. Because there is this kind of almost like overwhelming energy here that you're having to click out of, you're having to pull out of. I do feel like though with the Temperance card here, there is this element of needing to kind of not take things as slowly, needing to start taking action. But this is almost like taking action for yourself. Whereas before, like, these were action thrust upon you. So this was obligations, this was things people were expecting you to do. Whereas this is taking action for yourself instead, for your own prosperity. Is the answer to your question yes or no, though? Yes, I do feel like it is good communication. I know that was quite quick, but yes, I do feel like it's good communication. The reason why I just felt like just blowing out yes, because you don't feel like you're not really valuing what you're bringing to the table or really valuing yourself enough. So you need to understand that this is a yes, but there had to be some like pulling back or some changes in your life, communications that had to happen first in order for you to start being able to communicate better, be able to kind of progress forward better. So there is this kind of pulling back energy, but overall this is a yes though. We're going to go on now to Cancers though. Cancers. The Cancers, what is the answer to your yes or no question? But first of all, what do you need to know about it, Cancers? People are starting to realise your worth here, and because you are offering a lot. The only thing I don't like about this is it's almost an element here of people are realising your worth and people are realising what you bring to the table. And the thing I don't like about this is almost like instead of people going, oh, this person's a really nice person, they're going, I can use this person, they can help me with things, they can do things for me. That's what I don't like about it, because it's coming in with these people coming around you that are like, I'm going to take from this. So it's not just I'm going to help you out with this or we're going to sort this out. It's like, what can I take from this scenario? What can I take from this situation? Which feels really toxic here. With the Page of Cups here. Don't rush to action. Take things slowly. I almost feel like the universe is forcing you to take things slowly here. So it might seem like things just aren't really going your way because, you know, like, it's like either extra paperwork or you're having to redo things or things are taking a little bit longer than you expected. And this is so you can actually kind of continue on. This is so you can continue on into a direction that is going to be prosperous for you, is going to take you in the right direction. So this is a little bit of like pulling back here, pulling back, to kind of really focus on your direction, on your new direction, where you need to go from here, how you need to continue on. So this is kind of pumping you up and heading you forward. The only thing I would say though is with the reverse of the Strength card, there is a little bit of like you are feeling a little bit insecure, but understand that sometimes the universe gives us these breaks in order for us to kind of re-establish where we want things to go, how we want to go forward. But is the answer to your question a yes or a no? I do feel like this is a yes here. I do feel like this is a yes. With the Eight of Pentacles here, it is a long-term yes though, and I feel like with the High Priestess, there is this kind of need or this aura to trust yourself and be balanced in it. It's almost a mentality of it's all nice and good to help people or to be there for others, but we have to be there for ourselves as well. So we can't just be there for others constantly, because otherwise we end up drained, otherwise we end up in like this really bad situation or scenario. And I do feel like that's what's happening with you right now, is you're having to kind of pull back from that and go, okay, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to focus on what I need, my needs, and what I need to create. And that's going to really help you as you go forward, as you continue on. But I feel like there is this element here of having to kind of really refocus of how do I continue on from here? How do I go from here? And that'll really give you a whole new perspective. But planning is the main key for this, planning where you want to go. So although this is a yes, pull back a little bit, focus on yourself, plan on where you need to go, what you need to do next. Alright, so that was Cancers. We're going to go on next to Leos. So Leos, what do you need to know about your yes or no question right now? So what is the answer to your yes or no question from Tarot? What is your Tarot yes or no question? You are almost like choosing to cut off communication with people. You have a lot of new connections coming in. Particularly more like fun connections, like friendships, relationships, just generally fun. I do feel like there's an element here of, in the past you would overshare. In the past you'd be like, oh my god, a friend, you're my whole life now. Or romance, you'd be like, oh my god, a romantic relationship, you are my whole life now. You're pulled back a little bit now, you're a little bit more reserved, a little bit more cautious. And I feel like whatever you're asking about, you are being a little bit more reserved about it. You're like, okay, I want to get the heads up, I want to get a plan here, but I'm not going to allow myself to get carried away, get emotionally overwhelmed, etc. And I feel like this is because of injustice in the past and unfairness. You are kind of dealing with people who are more like emperors now, who are stronger now. You are starting to connect with a whole new next lot of people. And there is some self-improvement there for them. And with the there is some self-improvement they're going through right now, should I say. And I feel like that's a reason why they won't be rushing to action either. This is good though, because this is giving both of you and all of you people you're connecting to the chance to really suss each other out, to understand what each other are like, understand like how this connection is, what you need to know about it, etc. This is giving more of a balanced connection, more of a balanced understanding, rather than just like a one-sided overwhelmingness. So there is this like little bit of pullbackness here, but I feel like it is good for you and it is going to bring to more stability. But is the answer to your question a yes or a no? Is the answer to the question a yes or a no? I feel like this is a not yet. I don't want to say no, but a difficult one. I don't want to say no because it's a not yet. I almost feel like the issue here is more of this will eventually become a yes, but it's not yet. It's like you're having to step into the vibration, or having to step into the mentality, or having to step into this. There is some sort of like having to do this first and then it'll be a yes. So I don't feel like it's a no, but it's a not yet. So if you're asking about particularly about a time period, or you're expecting something to happen quickly, do understand it's going to take a lot longer than you expected. And this is because you're having to almost like step into that life. So when we're talking about manifestations, we talk a lot about acting as though it already is. And I feel like that's part of what you're having to do, is stepping to that, acting as if it already exists, acting as if it already is around you. And this is helping you to kind of rejig things and re-see things for the positive. So this is almost like you stepping into this, and I do feel like it is going to be very positive for you and very good for you. I just feel like it's a not yet, but eventually yes. So I'm going to carry on now, but understand that you are stepping into it. It's just going to take a little bit more time than planned. So next up is Virgos. So Virgos, what do you need to know about your yes or no question? What is the answer to your yes or no question? What do you need to know about it to begin with? You're pulling back your energy. I almost feel like you're having to take a deep breath, reassess things, pull back your energy, because somebody wasn't taking it very serious. And I feel like this was kind of a little bit upsetting here. You started to learn better and better of how to kind of stand your ground. It has been a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit upsetting for you, but you are in a much more stable place now of stepping up to your own plate, stepping up for yourself. Your negative affirmations are causing some blockages for you right now and creating this feeling of I'm trapped, I can't continue on, or I can't get out of this. And I feel like it's because you're hyper focused in one direction. I feel like if you actually focus more in a general direction, you actually realize there's more ways to deal with this than just the way you were expecting. So you're not trapped, but you do need to look for another exit. Like, you're trying to go out of a locked door and there's another door next to it that's open, you know? So is this a yes or a no, though? I do feel like this is a yes, though there is some issues here with communication, particularly long-term communication, that's a little bit blocking this. So some issues with communication here. But I do feel like this is a yes. It's more a matter of like, how do you get stability in? How do you get better communication in to invigorate this? But it does feel like a yes though. We're going to move on now to the next one, which is Libras. So Libras, what do you need to know today about your yes or no question? Libras, what do you need to know today about your yes or no question? With the strength card here, you're kind of losing a lot of your strength, losing a lot of your progression here. And I feel like with the 2 of Wands here, there is this need for communication. Like, there's definitely been a blow to your confidence here. And there's this need for you to take action in communication, but I don't feel like you're ready to do that yet because of this kind of nervousness, wanting to hide away. You feel like a little bit like things aren't moving forward for you. But I feel like actually you can have progression here. The only thing that's blocking it is communication. Like, because you kind of looked away from people, you're cut off from people. There is a little bit of an issue here of having communication, being able to communicate back and forth. Is this a yes or a no? I do feel like this is a yes, but you need to take a leap of faith here. You need to take a chance here. With the Tower card in reverse, I do feel like there is this element here of almost like everything is going too slowly. And this is because you're waiting for opportunities, you're waiting for things to happen, you're waiting for things to continue on. Whereas if you made them happen, if you took a leap of faith here, things would progress a lot quicker. So don't be afraid to try things out. Don't be afraid to take a few little calculated risks. Obviously, don't do something silly, but small calculated risks are fine. But I feel like you're almost like just preventing yourself from doing anything right now. But overall, it is a yes, though. I'm going to move on now to Scorpios. So, Scorpios, what do you need to know today about your yes or no reading? Scorpios, what do you need to know today about your yes or no reading? You're coming out of troubled waters here. I feel like your life has been a bit problematic for a while now. You're starting to be happier again in life, calmer. And I feel like you're starting to embrace like more self-improvement. So choosing to take on new tasks, choosing to learn new things, choosing to expand your horizons. This is all definitely a choice though. There is a little bit here that you haven't fully taken the actions you want to yet. A little bit daydreamy, that kind of thing. But I feel like definitely you're on the right path towards that, towards taking the action you need. But I feel like a little bit of a blockage here is finances, or you not wanting to expend out too much quickly because obviously that'll cost money or cause issues with your finances. You're choosing to take things slowly, but I don't feel like that's a massive issue. Like, yes, you could be moving forward a little bit quicker, but it's not a massive issue. Let's answer your question though. I do feel like this is a no, and with the reverse of the Magician card, this is almost like negative affirmations or negative thought patterns are blocking this, like are causing this. And I feel like particularly with the Queen of Pentacles here, this is like, it would cause a loss. So it caused loss for you if it was a yes. So you are a little bit trapped in this, but as I said before with another sign, sometimes we try and go in a specific direction, and actually if we left it a little bit more open. So for example, if you're like, I really want to find a relationship, and you're like hyper focused on just that person, of going, I really want a relationship with this person. But if you were more open to it and said, oh, I just want a good, healthy relationship, you'd actually get somebody better for you coming in. So keeping that a little bit wide open instead of specifically asking for one specific thing will really kind of help you towards a better progression. So, but understand that this is no, so you can kind of head towards something a little bit better for you and a little bit more long lasting, should I say. So next up we've got is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, what do you need to know about your question today? You're focused more on the long term here. You're definitely carefully planning. This is because you know you need balance in your life and you're trying to create it, trying to get it. There has been some loss recently which has caused a lot of emotional up and downs for you. But I feel like this is more of a temporary issue, not a permanent issue. It has caused you to kind of almost like underestimate yourself, deny yourself, not believe yourself, that kind of thing. Be worried about your choices. And it's caused you to communicate less with people unless it's absolutely necessary. But is this a yes or a no though? I do feel like this is a no, but this is almost like you need a break away from this to kind of gain your confidence and then move forward. So I feel like this could eventually become a yes, or you could get something very similar to this as a yes. But you need a little bit of time away from everything to kind of regain that confidence, feel inspired, feel better about yourself, etc. So that's a reason why it's a no at this time. But I do want to use the words at this time. Like, you are going to move past that. So we're going to move on now to the next one, which is Capricorn. So Capricorns. What do you need to know about your question now, Capricorns? A little bit emotionally disconnected here, not wanting to connect, not wanting to take action. And this is you choosing, it's almost like choosing your own strength, choosing your own self over this, choosing your own confidence over this. And I feel like there's definitely an element here of like feeling like you're not being respected, or that the people around you aren't respecting you, or just generally you're being undervalued in some way. Like this isn't being respectful to me kind of mentality. You feel a little bit stuck, like you're having to deal with it. You're having to accept the offers or take the offers coming in. Take it slowly, because I feel like you will have other connections. It's almost like you feel like you're pushed down a specific pathway right now, but actually more pathways are opening up for you and giving you a whole new lease of life, giving you a whole new perspective. There is this element here of people aren't taking you seriously. It's almost like people around you are almost like saying, like, to get wealth or to get things going well for me, I need to take away from people. Like, they don't have this belief in infinite abundance, so they feel like they're always competing with people. They have to take. And that just isn't true. You will get justice in this. You will get balance. But is this a yes or a no, though? I do feel like this is a yes, but no, you do need to speak up. You do need to continue working on how you speak up, how you express yourself, how you call people out. It's definitely going to be an awkward or hard road to walk, because you're having to call people out on their BS. You're having to say no to people. You're having to say, no, I'm not happy with that. So it isn't an easy way to go. It isn't an easy route to walk. But I do feel like actually it's going to be really positive for you in the long run, and it's really going to help you to continue on. So we're going to move on now to the next one, which is Aquarius. So Aquarius, what do you need to know about your yes or no question? Or what do you need to know about your question in general? Not having much enjoyment right now, Aquarius is, but you're trying to move on. Like, I'm not really enjoying life, but I'm trying to get a new beginning, a new start. But you are kind of, it's almost like you are trying to kind of create this new reality for yourself, but this sadness is coming in, or this kind of depression is coming in, and it's pulling you down. It's making it very hard for you to take the actions that you know are necessary to get yourself out of this slump. But it is difficult when you're in there. It is difficult when you're dealing with that sadness. Know that things are actually on the up and up for you. So although you are struggling, you are on the right path. You are heading in the right direction. And there is going to be a lot of self-improvements underway, which you are purposely trying to take on to improve your mental state. But you are a little bit trapped by circumstance right now, so it will take a little time to kind of get out of this kind of cycle, get out of this situation through no fault of your own, unfortunately. And you will have to take some time to kind of correct this and continue forward. But I do feel like actually this is quite positive for you in the long run, allowing you to see things from a whole new perspective. So, but is your answer to your question a yes or a no? I do feel like this is a yes. The only thing that's an issue here is you're having to let go and let God. So although I do feel like this is a yes, you're having to give the universe some time to kind of make this into reality, create this in reality. So I do feel like this is quite positive here. I would just be careful about how do you kind of continue forward, how do you go in the right direction, that kind of thing. But overall, it is really positive for you, and it's really giving that whole new abundance. So we're going to go into Pisces. So Pisces. What do you need to know today, Pisces, about your question, your yes or no question? Pisces, what do you need to know today about your yes or no question? You have been like pulling things up from the past or remembering things from the past. You have not let this go. You're wanting to take action, but I feel like it is stagnating you. you're wanting to take action here because you want to salvage this, you want to head towards it because you see it as really valuable. But what do you need to know about it though? Is it good or is it bad? I do feel like actually this thing from the past is good. And I feel like as you gain more strength or as you gain more confidence, it'll make it more possible. I almost feel like this is a don't force it, but allow it to come in over time. Because I do feel like there is going to be some like heartbreak or sadness before it comes in, like some issues surrounding it. So give it time to work things out. Don't try and pressure it or push it towards any resolution or anything like that. Is this a yes or a no though? I do feel like this is a yes. There is some obligations you're having to deal with, some issues you're having to deal with, you're having to process through first. And there is some issues of like speaking your mind, speaking your thoughts, speaking your thoughts into reality, your goals into reality. But overall, it is a yes. There's just going to be some little bit of upheaval or little bit issues along the way. Alright, I hope that helps you out, and I will see you all again soon.